Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, what Trump's new tariffs will mean for Alberta and how the Premier and Prime Minister are responding. Lodging house laws, why some people worry city rule changes will make it harder for students to find housing. And a country clearance sale, why musician Brett Kissel and his family are selling off so much stuff.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Alberta's premier says the new tariffs the United States plans to impose will hurt people on both sides of the Canada-U.S. border. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order yesterday imposing the 50% tariffs to a wide range of Canadian products ranging from alcohol to dairy to hockey sticks. The White House highlighted the decision by 8 provinces to take American booze off the shelves of liquor stores. It says U.S. companies have lost $500 million in sales. In response to the new round of tariffs, Danielle Smith is one of the 9 premiers who have signed an agreement allowing people to purchase alcohol directly from Canadian suppliers. CTV's Connor Hogg joins us now with more. So, Connor, what does this mean for Albertans?
Matt, it means Albertans can now buy alcohol from liquor producers in other provinces directly instead of having to go through a retailer. The announcement was made at a meeting between premiers in Charlottetown, PEI. At that meeting, Danielle Smith said she hopes Canada and the U.S. can work out their differences before the new Trump tariffs are set to take effect.
I think that what will happen is that we're going to have a pretty intense period over the next 29 days, and I hope that diplomacy will prevail and the best interests of both our countries will prevail, and we'll emerge with a signed CUSMA agreement that continues to keep a tariff-free relationship between Canada and the U.S. That's what we're all hoping for.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford suggested oil and potash could be used as retaliation against the Americans. When Smith was asked about that, she said, quote, "That's not going to happen." A source close to the federal government tells CTV News the Prime Minister was surprised by the tariff announcement. Mark Carney was asked about what led up to this on Parliament Hill this morning.
We have made a series of comprehensive and detailed proposals about how to modernize CUSMA, recognizing the transition that the U.S. is underway in the international and all its trading relationships, including with Canada and Mexico. I spoke with President Trump earlier this morning. We agreed to intensify negotiations in the coming weeks.
Carney met with the premiers virtually today. He says it's up to the provinces to decide whether to put U.S. alcohol back on store shelves. Alberta allowed it back last summer. The new tariffs are scheduled to take effect August 19th. Matt?
All right, Connor Hogg live for us tonight. Thank you. EPCOR is working to repair at least 3 sinkholes in different areas of Edmonton. This one is in an alley on 105th Avenue and 111th Street. EPCOR says the site has been secured and it's working to start repairs. Over on 107th Street and 103rd Avenue, EPCOR says repairs on another sinkhole have begun. Workers had to redirect wastewater before they could begin to fix a damaged section of pipe. And last week, a sinkhole shut down a road near 130th Avenue and 107th Street. A worker on site told CTV News it was about 35 feet deep, and EPCOR did not have a timeline for how long it would take to fix. EPCOR says there have been dozens of reports of subsidences, though most are minor, like cracks or dips in the road. Some people who had to evacuate a downtown music festival over the weekend say they feared for their safety. They say they were confused and disappointed by the event's directions and response. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more.
Fan Park and Ice District was jam-packed with thousands of people dancing the night away on Saturday. But Neon Skies was cut short when the Edmonton skies took a turn.
It got dark so fast, and then all of a sudden we had to evacuate.
This alert appeared on the stage, asking people to evacuate due to rain and thunderstorms.
They told us to leave. We could even use the emergency exits, and they said it was an emergency.
A lot of shock, a lot of stress, and a lot of fear.
Julia Allen says she hid inside Rogers Place and security asked people to leave. She thinks there could have been better communication and better planning.
I'm disappointed I didn't get to see Kesha but I'm mostly just really angry with how they handled the whole evacuation.
The overall safety plan was just not a safety plan, really.
Are we expecting people to go to muster points? Do we need to direct them to the nearest exits? Do we understand and know where those exits are?
Those are some of the questions that make a good emergency plan, according to Nate's program chair of disaster and emergency management. She says a good safety plan goes both ways.
As a concert goer, I have a responsibility to also look after my own safety and my best interests.
She adds safety doesn't just stop at the event. It should include a follow-up from organizers,
so that people that have been impacted by the decision understand what are the consequences for them and what can they expect next.
A spokesperson with OEG says all but one emergency exit near the stage were used, adding at no point was there any undue congestion at the exits and all fans were evacuated in a timely manner. He says Rogers Place and other indoor areas were available for shelter. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Police are trying to identify a man they say forcefully grabbed a woman on the city's south side and sexually assaulted her. Police have released a sketch and several surveillance photos of the man they're looking for. They say in April, a woman was walking in a business plaza near Saddleback Road and 27th Avenue when she was assaulted. Police say the same man has been spotted in the area before. He was also seen entering a home near Saddleback Road and 112th Street. Police say he has a heavy build, facial hair, and wears glasses. A man has been arrested after another man was attacked in the Bears Paw neighborhood in South Edmonton.
I drove past here and the guy ran out in front of my car and sprinted across the street here. I just started yelling.
I would say that the police came very quickly and they responded, they were very professional and they solved everything. But I do think that it's so strange. You never see this around here. I don't know.
Police were called to a home on 15th Avenue and 105th Street yesterday afternoon after receiving reports that a man was randomly attacking people with a weapon. Police say a 23-year-old was immediately located and taken into custody. The 62-year-old man was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The man arrested is facing charges, including assault with a weapon. Things were getting rowdy in the ring at K-Days today. Madness on the Midway as competitors from Top Talent Wrestling were going at it. A bit of a size mismatch in this one with the bigger fella coming out on top. Athletes from Alberta, the United States, Mexico, and Scotland are here competing to be crowned the next Slam Fest champion.
Be out here in the middle of the Midway and be able to connect with new audiences, I think is really exciting. And a lot of people get to see a product that they've never seen before. And, you see a lot of people that become brand new wrestling fans.
The final wrestling match for the championship belt begins tonight at 7:30. Well, Corey, it doesn't feel like we're getting slammed with as much smoke around here lately. A little clearer out there today, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it has been improving a little bit. Still waiting for the most recent update from Environment Canada. But as we look outside right now, we can still see a little bit of a haze for sure hanging over and in the city. But the sky is a little bit bluer. We're starting to see a little bit more of that blue. So we have seen an improvement. The southerly winds have helped a little bit. If they were stronger, it would help even more. But they are coming in from the south. They're fairly light, but seeing things push back. The air quality warning has been dropped for Red Deer and Jasper. Still remaining areas to the north of us, for us here in Edmonton, Camrose, Drain Valley as well. There are some severe thunderstorm watches southwest of Drain Valley towards Rocky and Olds, and then in towards Coronation, a severe thunderstorm warning. We're seeing some storms in that area. We'll take a closer look at that a little bit later on, but focusing on air quality right now, still waiting for the latest update, but last time I checked, we were at a 7. That may have improved. Tomorrow, we're looking to be a 4 or a 5, improving to the south of us as well and to the west. So we are seeing this slowly get pushed back, an improvement as far as the air quality. So that is a bonus. So right now, still a 7. Reduce or reschedule strenuous outdoor activities. That risk population, general population, consider doing so, and just monitor how you feel when you are outside. 23 right now, winds fairly light, but from the south. As we take a look at our forecast for tonight, about 20 by 9 o'clock. Tomorrow, overnight into the morning, there's a risk of fog, but we heat up tomorrow. Mainly sunny, 29 for tomorrow. As we take a look at Thursday and Friday, still the warmer of the days. coming our way. 31s in the forecast, mainly sunny sky. We'll talk 5-day forecast next time we chat weather.
All right, Corey, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, skills for the summer, how a food truck is providing young people with work experience.
This job has been able to push me out of my shell a little bit, and I've been able to learn a lot.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
Changes are coming for so-called lodging houses in Edmonton. Those are places where people can rent individual rooms rather than entire units. The changes aim to clarify what is allowed in different buildings and areas. But one city councillor worries they will also make housing harder to find for students. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
As another semester approaches, university students are starting to search for somewhere to live.
The housing struggle, it's been huge for students.
Most are looking for somewhere close to campus with as low of a monthly rent as possible. Angel Reyna says for many, the search leads to what the city calls a lodging house, where they can rent a bedroom.
The rent's already high. If they can get it slightly cheaper, that's the way they go. But it's not always the safest place for them to be.
The U.A. Students' Union is paying close attention to a number of changes City Council is making to lodging house rules. One aims to ensure they're not being used as short-term rentals like Airbnbs. Another adjusts the zoning bylaw to ban them in most residential areas. That would only apply to row housing, multiplexes, and garage or basement suites. At a meeting earlier this month, developers and neighborhood advocates supported the changes.
It sends a clear and credible signal Council is taking their concerns about neighborhood livability seriously.
Councillor Ann Stevenson isn't convinced zoning changes are the best way to address parking, garbage, and noise concerns.
People can be irresponsible neighbors regardless of their lease arrangements.
At a subsequent council meeting, she argued the changes won't address community concerns, but will limit housing choice where it's needed most.
There'd be no opportunity to have any student housing, lodging housing in the new row houses that are being built. I think that's a big miss and reduces some really important housing options for folks.
Council supported the change anyway. Reyna says protecting students from harmful living situations is her main concern.
The number of rentable units could decrease, but as long as this is leading to safer housing for students, that is a trade-off that we're willing to make.
There will be a public hearing before the changes take effect. It has not been scheduled. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A new Hope Mission initiative is helping kids gain work experience this summer. The Hope Mission food truck provides nutritious meals to underserved areas. It also serves customers at farmers markets and public events. The program hires kids who are part of the Hope Mission Tegler Youth Center programs. Organizers say working on the food truck teaches teamwork along with cooking and customer service skills.
A lot of youth know about the possibility and what it's like to work, but to actually have the hands-on experience, it's been mind-blowing.
I think you learn a lot of responsibility, and for me personally, I've learned a lot of public speaking, I would feel like, because I've been really shy, so I haven't been able to do that a lot, but this job has been able to push me out of my shell a little bit.
The Hope Mission food truck will be serving communities and events across the province all summer. Still to come tonight on CTV News, a bummer of a summer, trying not to let the weather whiplash ruin the season. The weather in Edmonton this summer is leaving a bad taste in some people's mouths. Patrons and organizers at Taste of Edmonton have had to deal with wind, rain, smoke, and some sun over the past few days. The relentless rain and less than ideal summer conditions for the past 2 months have some people saying it's been a bummer of a summer. Others say they're not letting the rain dampen their spirits.
So I like rain, so it's been awesome.
It's helped drown out the smoke, which has been nice.
Yeah, definitely. It's only been hot a little bit, like too hot, so.
It's been terrible. So much rain, now smoke. It sucks.
Yeah, I agree with her. A registered psychologist says your best bet to weather the storm is to focus on things you can control.
I would have plan A and B and maybe a plan C at this point too, just so you know that you have some other things that you can do that will also be enjoyable, right? They might not be the plan A, but plan C is still pretty fun.
Taste of Edmonton runs until Sunday, rain or shine. Some more rain earlier today, Corey, although it seems like it kind of depends on where you were in the city and how you experienced it. I slept right through it, but I know it kept you up last night.
Yeah, on the west end, and then kind of just the west half of the city saw quite a bit of rain, a lot of lightning. There were some big thunder cracks, and but really varied as far as amounts depending on where you were in the city. And this was between 3 and 4 a.m. As we take a look at the dark, the navy blue, those are the heavier amounts. Light blue, lighter, and then the green are the lowest amounts. So as we can see here, the west saw the heavier amounts, some areas upwards of 34 and 33 millimeters. Again, this is in the span of about 1 to 2 hours. And then as it pulled to the east, it lost a lot of its moisture on the west. So we did see the rainfall amounts lessen. And that continued to be the case the further east it moved. So again, this was between about 3 and 4 a.m. There was a lot of lightning and thunder on the west side of the city, but on the east, not as much. As we take a look at the rainfall amounts, just adding to the totals. So the total now, this is as of yesterday because we don't have the totals from midnight to this morning, or the official amounts. So we're at 187, but we could be adding in anywhere from 20 to 40 millimeters to that total from this morning's storm. So quite a bit of rain, well above average seasonal high. We might triple it by the time things are said and done for this month. We're at 23 right now. Winds coming in from the south. Still some smoke in the area, but this light southerly flow is keeping some of that to the north of us and starting to see a little bit more of a blue sky. It is slowly improving. Some other temperatures, we have 23 in Cold Lake and Fort McMurray. Jasper 28, 27 in Banff, and Calgary sitting at 26 degrees. We are seeing some storms. We were looking earlier at the warnings map. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for areas around Coronation. We see those storms continuing to push to the east. To the north of us, mostly clear sky, just a little bit of cloud to the northeast. That's also the case to the west and the southeast. But again, those storms, we're seeing those around Coronation, fairly quiet in Edmonton. There we go. As we see a lot of lightning associated with that, some very heavy pockets of rain. Those are continuing to push to the east. For tomorrow, temperatures really start to pump up throughout the province. 28 Slave Lake, 30 Peace River and High Level, 31 possibly in Grand Prairie. Pretty warm also for Cold Lake, 28 degrees. Feeling the heat in the south as well. Medicine Hat 33, 32 Lethbridge, and Calgary 31. As we take a look at our forecast for us here in Edmonton as we go throughout the evening, mostly clear sky. Overnight and through tomorrow morning, a risk of seeing some fog. So just keep that in mind. That may factor into your morning commute tomorrow. We'll start off at 14, and then for us, 29. Wind still coming in from the south, so continuing to see sky conditions improve as far as the smoke is concerned. 31 Thursday, 31 on Friday. Saturday, still the day to watch. 28 for a high as we go throughout the mid and later part of the day. There's a risk of thunderstorms, so hopefully that diminishes the closer we get to it, but that could be a fairly active day. And then 25 on Sunday. Matt.
All right, Corey, thank you. When we return, everything must go. Brett Kissel and his family are holding a charity garage sale.
I hate to admit it because, my family's watching this, but, I come from a family of hoarders.
CTV News at 5 continues.
It's a homecoming this week for our singer-songwriter Creisha Turner, taking the K-Days stage after a decade-long hiatus with a new single and tour. She'll join us in studio Wednesday.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Two teenagers in Alberta Junior Lifeguard Club helped them save a man's life. Now they're encouraging others to get trained. CTV's Noah Rashog has their story.
What do you think would have happened if you guys hadn't rolled into that scene at that time?
Anything.
The waters are calm at Wabamun Lake, but on an August day, nearly 4 years ago, that wasn't the case. Benjamin and Amelia Gerber were 12 and 10 years old, respectively. They were riding in a tube behind their pontoon boat when they spotted some people in trouble.
We spotted the sailboat that was flipped over, and Mom told me and Amelia, as we were the best swimmers, to get out and save that man.
The two had junior lifeguard training. Despite their age and size, they didn't think twice before jumping into the water.
With all the training that you have, you just kind of
automatically go. Like, you don't have to overthink it. You just have to think strategically.
Ben dragged the man 80 yards to safety.
For my size, he was easily double what I was.
Last year, the two received awards for their efforts. Ben was given the M.G. Griffiths Certificate for courage in the face of considerable danger, the second highest national rescue award.
Like the night of is when I kind of finally fully kind of sat back, closed my eyes, and was like, oh my, we saved somebody.
This week is National Drowning Prevention Week. The siblings are keynote speakers at upcoming flag-raising ceremonies, examples of how training can save lives.
If an incident does occur, they can kind of snap into action a lot easier. So in the case of Amelia and Benjamin, when they saw the gentleman struggling in the water, they were able to go out there and help him and do so safely as well, which is really important.
The two have continued their lifeguard training and advocate for others to get their own. Noel Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
A country music star's trash just may be another person's treasure. Brett Kissel and his family are holding a garage sale in Sherwood Park. CTV's Curtis Goodrum stops by the sale.
This for free.
Oh, thank you.
Is that good?
My son will be very happy about that.
It's a country clear-out sale. Country music artist Brett Kissel and his family are hoping their pop-up shop will be a barn burner. They're hosting a garage sale at the A.J. Otwell Community Centre.
I come from a family of hoarders. Like we thought that we're pretty organized, but we just have so much stuff that we've accumulated over the years.
We're selling furniture and all our old toys and some clothes, shoes, old hats, and we've made a lot of money so far.
That money will benefit two local charities, Alberta Dreams and Golden Circle of Champions. They both help sick kids fulfill their wishes and dreams. Georgia. Thanks, Georgia. Great name.
Thanks.
Great tattoo.
Thank you.
Okay, what do we got in here? Kissel is already making some fans' dreams come true by hosting a meet and greet.
I mean, I've been a fan of Brett since I was little, and then I just found it really cool that I could have like a, personal experience with him and just say I've been to his garage sale.
We love Brett Kissel. We just wanted to meet him and come see what he had out here and support him.
And I know it's all going to charity, so why not support charity?
It's really, really cool to actually have a visit with people. Sign some autographs too. We've been having fun.
The garage sale runs until tomorrow at 9 p.m. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman.